Yeah, good afternoon, Vonnie, gentlemen. Really excited about the prospect. Obviously, there's a huge responsibility, that comes with that. But I just love the idea of, promoting and advocating our sport over in WA. Obviously, we've got Origin coming up very soon. We've played a number of NRL games, but also, being part of a start-up club over in Perth with the Perth Bears. So, love the challenge. I love challenges, and I think I'm up for it.
Yeah, you certainly are, Mel. Congratulations, mate, on your appointment. I think it's a terrific appointment by the National Rugby League. So much to do starting off with a new club. Where do you start, Mel? What's the first thing you do? You're starting at 1st of July. I think, is that the mail? That's when you start. What's the first thing you do, mate? What is it? What's it going to be?
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Yeah, small steps. Obviously, I just got my feet under the table yesterday. It's been a not a drawn out conversation with the NRL, but it sort of happened really quickly. So, I think from my point of view, I mean the first sort of 18 months is around building a club, building a roster, having the right people in the right spots around staff. So I think that's really a priority. But even before that, I feel that I need to get to understand the community over in WA. I need to understand the connection with the community that the North Sydney Bears are going to have. So I just think, asking a lot of questions, mate, and trying to understand, what is going to be a Perth Bear. Getting that identity right, getting those pillars and foundation right initially, so that when we start to look at the right people and put them in the right spots, that we've got a bit of an identity and it gives us a bit of a why and a bit of a sell proposition, to talk to managers and players and people, who we want as part of our organisation.
Hello, Malcolm. It's Cooper. Huge congratulations on the new role. But I've only got one question for you, mate.
Hey, Coops.
What have Vonnie and I done to make you get back into the furnace of coaching and move to the other side of the country?
You haven't done anything, mate. You haven't done anything. I quite enjoy this side of the camera just for starters. So actually asking or answering questions from you is, I don't know. I mean, it's just part of my DNA, Coops. I love challenges. I love the game. I just feel that this is a great opportunity, for the game to spread its wings, nationally. And I'd just love to be part of it all. I just feel, I'm at a stage in my life where I can commit to this type of venture. And, I just, like Bonnie mentioned right at the beginning, it is going to be a legacy piece. I'm really excited about what I can do about helping the game long term. And this venture's way past me, so I'm just helping to start up, and I really want to do a really good job, and I want to sort of set a foundation, a rock there, so that it has sustainable success into the future.
And, mate, I've got a big, hard-hitting question for you. Now, don't brush me. You haven't spent a single cent of the salary cap. Who are you going after first? Who's the first signing? Come on.
I haven't. I mean, I'd love to sign, all the players, all those superstars, obviously. But that's going to be difficult. I know it's going to be a challenge. That's why I say when Kevin asked me the question, you've got to find a why. What's the reason for a player to go over west? Uproot their families and their lifestyles probably on the East Coast. That's the first priority. We just need to understand, what is that sell proposition, like I mentioned before. And I feel, it's a great place. It's a great place to live. I haven't heard a bad word about it, except for the tyranny of distance. That's about the only negative of people have been talking about. So, we've got to sort of negate that, of course. But what is the why? Why you want to be a Perth Bear? And that's the first things we need to sort out.
The roster and the coaching staff is all part of everything that you're going to have to pull together very, very quickly, given the timeline that we're looking at. And I know you're great mates with Ricky Stewart. So what's Sticky warned you about the day-to-day stresses of NRL coaching? Because it's a tough watch sometimes.
Vonnie, it's about putting the right people around you, so... And don't be scared. My ego's not big enough to understand I've got to have smart people around me, So that's important. And obviously the important positions in a club is, your GM of footy and your recruitment, retention manager, and obviously assistant coaches. And, all staff are important, but, having those guys that can help you. Because, coaching, being a head coach of a football club is not just the coaching aspect of it. All it's around all those relationships that you need to foster and, nurture. And So, that's, I'm fully aware of that. I'm fully aware that, we've got to get the right people around me to, make this venture a success.
Hey Mel, it's Sean. Hey, congrats on the appointment. I just want to say how much I appreciate you. One, for allowing me to move up on the pecking order here on the Fox League salary cap. I'm sitting next to Vonnie now, so I shall keep this chair very warm. But just can you give us a little bit of clarity around the international game and what your role with the Australian side moving forward might look like?
Unfortunately, Sean, I've got to relinquish my role with the national side. But, that's obviously part of the disappointment of taking this job, I guess. But, I feel it's in a good spot at the moment. Whoever has it next, they're going over to England, playing an Ashes series against the English with full crowds, So, and I'm pretty sure the Pacific champs with New Zealand, Samoa and Tonga, I feel, the crowds will be enormous with that. So I think the place is in, the international program's in a good space at the moment. Still a bit of work to do, but I feel that, if I'm going to do it, it's going to do it now, So I sort of prioritise, I feel, Sean, that, the Perth Bears, for me, is what I want to do into the future. And, I'm pretty sure whoever takes on the job next will, love the experience and do a fantastic job.
Well, the Ashes series and bringing it back is such a passion project of yours. And Mel, I know it's not your role to influence or comment on who will be the next Australian coach, but what you could give us some insight into is what would you like to see preserved from your 8 years that you were in charge of the green and gold?
I think we've got a really good culture, really strong culture, Vonnie, and that was started way back in 2016, and Cooper was part of all that as well, around our value systems, those pillars that sets the standards and behaviours, understanding how important the green and gold jersey is, how important it is to represent your country. That's an enormous honour. I think there's some things that I'd like to sort of preserve, I guess, and we've done some really good things of late around what is our purpose? We talk about why all the time, but, when you put an Australian jersey on, that's really important. It's what's your motivations, and, we really do a lot of work with family. So there's a few things I'd love to, for the program to preserve, but I think the players have done a terrific job in nurturing that as well. So, from that point of view, I feel that if the players, can help, the incoming coach, I think that'll be something I'd love to see.
Well, Mel, from the green and gold to the green machine, are you going to head out to GIO Stadium tomorrow to celebrate big Josh Papali'i, a four-time Meninga medal winner, and create his own little piece of history there for the Canberra Raiders?
Yeah, great achievement for a front rower or a middle forward and a front rower. The last 15-odd years in the competition, and end up beating one of our greatest players, and Jason Croker, 319 is terrific. It's going to be a full crowd. It's going to be about 10 degrees, Monty. I think the rain may hold off, so that's a good thing. It should be a great occasion, and Josh deserves it. I've got no doubt in my mind he's been one of our greatest ever players, and you pick your greatest ever Canberra Raiders side. I think Josh Papali'i's in that side, so congratulations to him. I'll be out there watching him, and fingers crossed that he plays well and the team plays well for him as well.
Now, just a quick one, asking for a friend. If I want to put my resume in for the Bears job, where do I go to, mate? Just a quick one.
Geez. Water boy to start with.
Yep.
I think you do a really good job because you're fit and healthy, and just send those messages on the
fill up water bottles.
Well, those messages on the footy field. All that stuff. Yeah, you got to start at the bottom, mate.
Happy to do so, mate.
He's getting his resume together as we speak. Mal,
I don't know why you're not laughing. Kevin, you might have to do the same, mate.
Kevin was taking notes, actually. He was writing it down. You're usually holding the fort down here on Super Saturday. We miss you already, Mal, but congratulations. It's really amazing to see.
Thanks, Vonnie. Thanks, guys.
Mal Meninga there, officially the Perth Bears coach.